Hello everyone. Today I will be analyzing the poem The World is Too Much with Us by William Wordsworth. Let us analyze the poem first. The World is Too Much with Us by William Wordsworth. The world is too much with us, late and soon, getting and spending, we lay waste our powers. That means this world is becoming totally materialistic. We are too much engrossed in physicalities of life. We are all the time absorbed in getting and spending. And so we lay waste our powers. That means all our energy and our power is wasted only in getting and spending. Little we see in nature that is ours. We are not at all in proximity with nature. We are not at all in touch with nature. We are absorbed totally in ourselves, only in spending money, only in accumulating wealth, and only becoming materialistic. We have given our hearts away a sordid boon. That means emotionally, what we have in our hearts, we have taken a dirty blessing. That is, we have bought only possessions and not taken the blessings of the nature. So these are the first four lines. This is actually a sonnet, and it is a Petrarchan sonnet. It has octave and a sestet. So the first stanza, that is the four lines. In the first four lines, the poet speaks about the world, about the materialism, and about our disconnection with nature. Then again, in the second four lines, this sea that bears a bosom to the moon, the winds that will be howling at all hours, and are upgathered now like sleeping flowers. For this, for everything, we are out of tune. That means we don't know and nor do we observe nature at all. The sea that bears her bosom to the moon, the sea that opens up her heart to the moon, that means the image of the night is there when the moon is shining on the sea and it is all bright. The winds that will be howling at all hours. When the winds will be going on and there will be noise howling, there will be noise of the wind at all hours, all throughout the day, and are upgathered now like sleeping flowers. Now the wind has gathered up and it is cool and calm, and now the wind is sleeping like flowers. For this, for everything, we are out of tune. We don't know anything. We neither do we know anything about the sea, nor about the winds howling at all hours, and nor do we know about sleeping flowers. There is a simile in these lines. The wind is sleeping like the howling wind is like sleeping flowers. So these are the first 8 lines, which are called the octave. And now we will come to the 6 lines, that is the sestet. It moves us not, great God, I'd rather be a pagan suckled in creed outworn. For this, let me explain what is a pagan. A pagan is a non-Christian and a worshipper of nature. Pagans belong to an old faith of ancient Greece and Rome that flourished before the advent of Christianity. Pagans were lovers of nature and worshipped the deities. The entire poem has the concept of pantheism. The greatest contribution of Wordsworth to the poetry of nature is his use of pantheism. He sees the divinity in nature. He believes God shines through all the objects of nature, investing them with a celestial light. He finds the divine in the shining of the stars and sees him in the flowering of the fields. Let me come back now to the sestet. It moves us not, great God. I'd rather be a pagan suckled in a creed outworn. Now we know what a pagan is. Pagan is someone who is a worshipper of nature and who is not in an urban civilization. A very normal person who worships every part of nature. So he says, the poet says, all these natural phenomena, all the pictures of nature, they don't appeal us. We are not moved by nature at all. And here he laments that it would rather, being an urban person, he would be a pagan in a creed outworn. Creed outworn means which is no longer which is obsolete, which is no longer in the mainstream. So might I, standing on this lea means meadow, have glimpses that might make me less forlorn. He wishes that instead he would have been a pagan and he would be seeing the nature and seeing the glimpses of nature standing on a meadow, and he would feel less forlorn. Forlorn means lonely. Have sight of Proteus rising from the sea, or hear old Triton blow his wreathed horn. Proteus and Triton both are from Greek mythology. Now I will tell you who is Proteus and who is Triton. Proteus was a deity of the sea in Greek mythology. He guarded the flocks of seals of Oceanus, that is ocean. He had the gift of prophecy. It was difficult to get him because he constantly changed his shape. And Triton was a minor sea deity who tended the flocks of Neptune, the sea god. He had the upper part of the body in human form and the lower that of a fish, like a mermaid. He is used to blow a conch shell which is wreathed, that is twisted into a curve. So now let me come back. Have sight of Proteus rising from the sea, or hear old Triton blow his wreathed horn. So the poet wishes that he could have seen some of the gods, the nature gods coming out from the sea. He could have seen a sight of Proteus coming out of the sea, or see old Triton blowing his horn, and this would be a marvel to watch the sea, the panoramic view, and be in constant touch with nature. But now, because the world is too much absorbed with materialism, too much filled with commercialization, the poet actually mentions here, is influenced by industrial revolution, which brought the man away from nature. And so here he laments that at least he could be away from the materialistic civilization and be in the lap of nature. Thank you.